We're gonna do a little segment called Rookie Watch. We like to call Rookie Watch. We're gonna look at some of these rookies that we've had throughout this season. There's a lot of them, but we're gonna talk about some of the people who have lived up to the hype and maybe a few who have surprised. Yeah. And have done something that maybe we weren't expecting at all. So, either of you want to
I'll take Jalen Green.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, so first we're going to talk about Jalen Green. I will start off by saying that I have him on my fantasy team, so I'm happy that he's doing well this season. He's doing really good in Houston right now. He's averaging 14.5 points per game with three rebounds and 3 assists. Yep. And he's averaging 33 minutes per game, which is pretty good for a rookie. Starting out pretty strong.
He's starting all of his games as well.
100%, yeah. So he started all of his games. He's been playing really good. Very aggressive on the court. And making his presence known as a rookie. He's definitely one of the guys that we're going to see as a big Rookie of the Year contender. I wouldn't be surprised if he was in the conversation or ended up getting the Rookie of the Year mention. But yeah, he's been balling out. I'm very happy to have him on my fantasy team.
Yeah, I mean, and I don't know if you guys have actually watched him play or seen some of the highlights and stuff. It's pretty crazy. I mean, he's got a great touch on the ball. Pause. But he's got a really nice handle. He has a nice shooting stroke. So, I mean, this guy is going to be a problem in the league for a long time, I think. Yep. So what I wanted to ask is, do you think that Houston has found their franchise player in Jalen Green?
Yes, I think they might have. I think that they're very similar to. Sorry, Makoto. I think that I would say that the best way to describe them is that they're very similar to Cleveland, but it could end up working out. I think that Jalen Green and Kevin Porter Jr. are definitely going to be the franchise players for Houston, and I think that it was very similar into the way that they had drafted them, like Cleveland did with Darius Garland and Colin Sexton. Obviously, right now that's kind of working out a little shaky and not, really going great for Cleveland right now. But I think that for Houston it could work out.
Meniscus, so let's just put that
and that too, yeah.
Dealing with injuries and whatnot.
And I was gonna say that KPJ's not playing as hot, but Jalen Green's definitely picking up the slack. So they're playing as a duo. They're playing as a duo should. Like if one person's down, the other person should be picking.
And
up
I think the way right now with KPJ, the way he's playing, I think they just put him in the point guard role this year. He's starting point guard, so he's averaging 6 turnovers a game, which is insane.
He's not a point guard, by the way. He's a true shooting guard.
He is a shooting guard, but right now they put him in the point guard role. And honestly, watching him play, he has the vision for it. Mm-hmm. Just the actual execution of his passes are, something that I think he's going to learn.
On his vision.
He's going to learn for sure. I mean, he's only 21. Jalen Green's 20. Yep. So these guys are going to be issues for a long time. And right now, Houston has a nice young core sitting there. They have the youngest team in the league, I think, right now, or one of top 5 youngest teams in the league.
Yeah. Speaking of young cores, let's move on to the next guy, Evan Mobley. He is working with a young core of course, Sexton Garland and Jared Allen. Amazingly, he's playing the 4, and he's playing really well as a 4, surprisingly, getting 33 minutes a night, which basically means they're playing him most of the night in conjunction with Jared Allen, which is surprising because you wouldn't expect 2 7-footers on the court at the same time.
I knew that was one of my reservations when Cleveland drafted Evan Mobley. I was going to say how, because they also had just given Jared Allen max extension, so I was kind of concerned as how that was going to
Yeah.
But it seems like
especially since they also traded away JaVale McGee to the Suns, so they lost their backup backup center. Sorry.
Yeah, and I'm so surprised that it was working because again, I had all those thoughts, but also Mobley was not really a good stretch from my understanding when watching him in college. I mean, he's definitely a NBA ready player. When I saw him in college, so he was not going to take time to. He doesn't need time to develop. Mm-hmm. But my understanding, he wasn't good at shooting threes. His 3-point.
Yeah, I mean, right now he's only shooting about 3 attempts a game. Yeah. So he's definitely not a stretch 4. I don't think that's what they were necessarily looking for. But the man is definitely a defensive.
Athletic.
He's a defensive presence.
Yeah, he is athletic. He can move. He's very nimble. For a 7-footer.
Absolutely, and he can switch. He can switch because they have Jared Allen locking down the paint because he's a true shot blocker for sure. Yeah, and then now Evan Mobley being able to guard some of the wings a little bit on the outside, I think definitely is helping Cleveland's defensive scheme.
Can I just add one more thing to Evan Mobley?
No.
Yeah.
Okay. The last thing that I want to say about Evan Mobley is that I think that Jared Allen and Evan Mobley have a very high potential of being one of the most dominant defensive front courts that we've seen in the NBA in a decent amount of time, because both guys are really good at defense, and Jared Allen still has some kinks that he needs to work out. Evan Mobley's still young; he has a bunch of stuff that he needs to work out. But as soon as those guys get into their primes, and they will be in their primes together, it could be very dangerous on Cleveland to see that happen. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if people were starting to compare Jared Allen and Evan Mobley in a couple of years to Rudy Gobert type defensive play, because those guys down low are going to be very, very hard to get past.
Yeah. I mean, they're both averaging a block a game right now.
Yeah.
So
they were what DeMarcus Cousins and AD was supposed to be on the Pelicans.
Right, exactly.
So I'm gonna just a little history thing, but remember the times when AD and when Cousins got signed to the Pelicans, and they really wanted to make a big court, a big front duo. Didn't really happen because they have two completely different play styles, and it didn't seem to mesh. That's why DeMarcus Cousins is on the downward trend that he was. So that's the start, honestly, where DeMarcus Cousins had the downfall, I think.
Do we have a little bit of time for a quick story?
No. Save it for next week. We'll save it for next week when it comes to DeMarcus Cousins. But we'll
do a little story time.
The next guy I really want to talk about, because he is on my fantasy team, Scotty Barnes.
Scotty Barnes, baby.
Off the waiver wire. Man's been playing out of his mind. I watched him both times when the Raptors played the Celtics. He's an amazing player. Everyone was crapping on him crapping on the Raptors for drafting him fourth. But honestly, for what they're looking for, the place, the scheme and everything that the Raptors are implementing this year, Scotty Barnes is the perfect player for that. He's basically Kawhi who can't shoot threes, essentially. Amazing defender, amazing playmaker.
It's high praise.
Yeah.
Honestly, high praise for the
I'm
rookie.
praising him because I'm surprised
he's balling out in Toronto right now for sure.
Yeah, exactly. He's playing really well, getting starting minutes as a rookie as well. I'm honestly surprised. And again, Scotty Barnes, I didn't really think he would. I thought he would have to take a couple of years to develop in the league when I saw him out of college, but he transitioned really well, and the Raptors are playing really well, and they killed us once, and we beat him last night, but Barnes was still doing his thing.
Yeah, Raptors right now, I'm pretty sure they're top 5, if not top
Yep.
defense in the league right now. So
7-6, yeah. Speaks to Scotty Barnes.
Yeah, so Scotty Barnes definitely bringing a lot there. If you guys watch him, he's really quick on his feet. I know he was guarding Harden pretty well as well, and he's tough to guard. With the whole foul rule, that's a different story. But Harden is not an easy defensive assignment, so the fact that Scotty Barnes as a rookie is able to, make him pass out of a lot of his shots, I think definitely speaks a lot of volumes.
Apparently, Scotty Barnes just locked up KD and Harden by himself, apparently.
Yeah, even though both of them had about 30 points that night, so, we can talk about that. But point is that, no, he definitely had some solid possessions on defense. A couple steals on him right now. He's averaging 8.5 rebounds a game. He's a big dude. So I think that right now with Toronto, like you said, that's kind of just what they needed, especially after they essentially, half blew up the team because they traded a lot of assets away. They traded Kyle Lowry. I know they still have Pascal Siakam.
Well, yeah, I was just going to mention that he's been sucking recently.
No, they definitely needed Scotty Barnes to come in and kind of pick up a lot of that slack.
Hey, they got an insane core. I think they'll be good in the next couple of years when OG Anunoby takes another step, Scotty Barnes takes another step. Pascal Siakam hopefully will get back to his 2019 self. When he does, I think they're serious playoff contenders when Pascal Siakam gets back to being the way he was.
Yeah,
that's all I'm going to say about the Raptors. But
I
would not a Raptor segment. This is a
I wanted to ask if you guys really thought that Pascal was going to be able to get back on that, but that's a conversation for another day.
Exactly.
So now we're going to talk about some rookies who have kind of surprised a little bit.
Yeah.
A couple guys who maybe not have expected to be as hot as they are right now. But the first guy I wanted to talk about was Josh Giddey. Josh Giddey right now, not the best scorer right now, a little lackluster, only shooting 39% from the field, but 6 boards a game, 6 assists a game, 6 assists a game. For me, seeing a rookie get 6 assists a game is really a good sign to know that he has good vision, he has good basketball IQ, and that's not really something that you lose. You can only really kind of improve upon that.
Yeah.
So if he improves his shooting a little bit and his scoring ability, this guy is going to be incredible. And I think that the tandem that they're trying to work out with, if they have Shea as well as Lou Dort, and now Josh Giddey, I think that the Oklahoma City Thunder, also like the Rockets, they have a nice young core right now, and I think that if they can develop them, they're going to be problems as well.
Yeah, I think the only thing that concerns me for Josh Giddey a little bit is his inconsistent shooting and efficiency. I think that obviously those are things that he can clearly work on quite easily with a bunch of his player coaches for OKC. But I do think that, that is something to note, and it could be a detriment to him later on in his career if he doesn't get working on it soon.
Because we've seen an example of that in Philadelphia if you don't work on your shot.
Right.
So,
yeah.
Exactly. Kind of what you want to mirror.
So
you don't want to mirror.
Yeah. So Josh Giddey needs to get working on his shooting a little bit. Right now he's just averaging a little bit under 10 points. If he bumps those numbers up a little bit, then he could probably be a Rookie of the Year contender if he isn't already. But I think that he would definitely be a more locked in spot for that kind of title if he did improve his shooting, because right now what is he shooting? A little under 40% from the field.
39% from the field, and I'm pretty sure it's like somewhere around 25 from three.
Yeah.
So definitely very inefficient shooting right now.
As an NBA player, you got to shoot a little bit better than that, but not the worst thing to have in your game. It's definitely something that is fixable.
And I think as a rookie, that's one of the best issues to have.
I agree.
If you're going to have a rookie, the one issue that you probably want them to have is inconsistent shooting, because that just takes time. Especially he's getting used to the league now, so he just needs a little bit of time. I think definitely it's going to work out for him. But for me, it's definitely the playmaking. I think the fact that he has already really good playmaking skills is just going to translate across the board for the next couple of years for them.
Sure. Yeah, speaking of a guy who's transitioned really well shooting-wise, and a guy I wanted to talk about personally, Chris Duarte, who plays for the Pacers. Duarte? I thought it was Duarte.
No, the E silent.
Oh, interesting. I heard a lot
whatever
of
the guy, that guy, whatever his name is.
That guy, whatever his name is. Chris Duarte. People say it both ways. Both ways. Chris Duarte, shooting 40% from three. Transitioned really well as a spot shooter, basically, for the Pacers. And considering Malcolm Brogdon's out, he's been getting a lot of starting minutes.
True.
So
I think that's why he's gotten a nice chance to shine.
Yeah.
Just because Malcolm Brogdon's out right now.
So I just wanted to quickly note him. I didn't really want to go in depth to him because I haven't watched too many Pacers game. But any highlights I see with Chris Duarte, amazing to see him, just his movement around the court and his shooting are all the two highlights.
He'll be a very deadly 3-point shooter later on in his career.
Absolutely, yes. And right now, like you said, he's shooting 40% on 5.8 attempts a game. So almost 6 attempts as a rookie. He's 24, but he's still a rookie, and he's shooting 40% on 6 attempts. This guy's going to be a dead-eye shooter.
And he was praised for shooting out of the draft, so and he's showing it in the league right now. So that's all I wanted to highlight. The next guy we should definitely go a little bit more in depth in, because he was a big surprise for us coming out of the league. But Kadeem Cunningham, injured for the first part of the league, came back, played really terrible off his injury. Now starting to pick it up, so I'm happy that he's playing back to his potential.
He's only got 5 games right now, 28 minutes a game. But for me, this shooting splits are horrendous.
I'll just add one little thing to that. He's really abusing his green light right now for the team. I think that right now, he's just chucking up shots, trying to get the feel of the game. But that honestly, right now, that might not be the best thing for him.
No,
so,
he's shooting right now. He is shooting 28% from the field and 22 from three.
We were
number one draft.
We were critiquing Josh Giddey for 40%. Look at 28%. That is worse than.
And it's about 14, 13 shots a game.
You can't do that in the NBA, man. Can't do that.
That was a negative surprise or a bad surprise for us, because I thought he would have shot better. Again, he's a bigger guy. Maybe he should abuse his size and just get his field goal percentage up by making more layups and shorter mid-range shots. But that's just my opinion.
If he was 25 and not 20 or however old he is, coming out of college and not a rookie, he would probably get sent overseas within the next couple days.
He would get pushed to the G League.
This is bad looks from a number 1 pick.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But right now, I think they're gonna try to ride this out. And like I said, he's only played 5 games.
True.
So this is a really small sample size. These other rookies have over 10 games each of them.
A full season, basically.
So far for all the games that they've played. Kadeem Cunningham, very small sample size right now, but it is not looking good at the start. No. Especially since I know he's got about 3 assists a game, and I know he was praised for his playmaking skills when he was coming out of college.
And I do think that will definitely get better. My concern is that his shooting and scoring is going to be a massive problem, and definitely could end up being another Ben Simmons type player.
Yeah, where he just doesn't want to shoot. I mean, yeah, when you're shooting 20, that doesn't even look real.
Yeah.
28% from the field. Oh, I mean, I hope it works out for him because I know that, he is definitely supposed to be a good player.
He's praised out of the draft, number one pick.
Yeah, I mean, number one pick, the Pistons were very excited to get him. So,
number one picks do seem to either fail or do not do that well in the first year or two. So,
we'll see what happens with him. I think also definitely a huge part of it is coming off of an injury.
Yeah.
We're being a little harsh on him, I think. But 28%, not great, not good optics for him.
We're hammering it home. He sucks at shooting.
Yeah, I think I think it'll work out for him, hopefully.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
We'll see.